What is up, everyone? It is Midwest Raider fans, and we are back again with another video. Thought you were going to get rid of us. No, we are back. We are a little bit late for the Bengals recap, but it's okay because we lost anyways. So,
what do we talk about? How do we get better?
Exactly. So it's all good. We're going to kind of recap today for the schedule, so stay tuned for the whole video. We're going to recap. We're going to talk about a little Raiders news that came out. Of course, everybody knows about it. We have some good news that we heard as some Raider rumors, so that's good. You're going to have to stay tuned for that. And then we also have our little preview on Miami that we're going to talk about because there's a lot of unknowns right now. So we're just kind of go over it really quick. And then stay tuned for our next video coming out really quick this week as well, because we're going to talk about the season recap because we are at that mid-season this year already, going by really fast.
Going by too fast.
It is going by fast, although it's not although it's not a fantastic year. We're still Raider fans, so we're still here. So all that good stuff. So let's jump into the video right away, get into it, and talk about that Bengals loss. We did lose 41-24. It sounds a lot worse than it actually was if we were watching the game. It kind of fell out at halftime, came into the third quarter, kind of went bad, but we did have, I'll just go over stats just really quick. 217 yards total offense, 5 for 13 on third down, 24 minutes of possession. It was 17-10 at halftime. I just want to put that out there. Minshew was sacked 5 times. Our offensive line got decimated, where they were actually talking about putting in tight ends to play tackles or some rearranging people to get things done. So the offensive line really took some injuries. I'm going to have to look at the injury list if I can find it here in a minute. Gardner Minshew was had 124 yards and an 81.5 rating. Jacoby Myers had 8 receptions for 105 yards. So he had a 100-yard day, which is awesome. Did have a 23-yard long reception there. Bowers only 5 for 45, but he did have 1 TD. And then Zimmer White had the other touchdown, had a rushing touchdown right at the beginning of the game, which we finally got it in the goal line. So that was good with the run up the middle.
Yeah.
The quarterback, and I can't say his name, so I'll let Jimmy say his
Ritter.
Came in when it was 31 to whatever it was, and he was 11 for 16, 74 yards, and 1 touchdown. So for coming back for his first game, he does have some zip on the ball from what I noticed from the game, but, wasn't anything fantastic in my opinion. So other than that, that's pretty much where it was at. Joe Burrow ripped us apart, 251, 5 touchdowns, throwing touchdowns, which is like a record for him, matching a record for him. Didn't go over his record, but matched his record for a 5 TD game, of course, against the Raiders, because we always let other teams make records against us. And that's pretty much it. So that was pretty much the game in a nutshell there. It was tough. We did score in that first quarter, once again, scripted plays from Luke Getsy, and we did score right away. Got a field goal on later in the quarter there, and then it was 10 points in the first half. So didn't look great. Once we ran out of scripted plays, we kind of fell in the same boat that we always do every game. So.
But he's gone. We don't have to worry about him anymore, so we'll stop talking about him.
Yeah, so that's pretty much how the game went. I don't know if, Jimmy, you want to talk about anything that you saw in that game?
Yeah, no, not really. Again, big factors, the time of possession there. We had 24 minutes of, offense. Again, that's just not cutting it, even if it was more 50-50. But, obviously we want the offense out there, sustaining some drives. Just couldn't do it, obviously. Lots of injuries on the line there. Madison, what I say, 40 yards, something like that.
Yeah.
It was not very good.
Yeah.
Can't run the ball. Obviously, passing was decent, and like you said, that's our strength. But, yeah, I don't know. Bengals, now we're at the bye week. It's over, so start the second half.
Yeah, I think total we had 60 yards rushing total in that game. So just terrible. We knew the offensive line, we do have major problems right now. We have no depth. because of injuries, and so we are playing rookies. We're playing anybody that we have left is what we're playing. So we're not getting. I said this all year. We don't have a cohesive line that can get into the game. So that's really hurting our offense as well as the OC coaching play, which is the news of the day. Of course, everybody knows that Luke Getsy was fired, along with the offensive line coach and the quarterback coach. So that was 3 coaches. I don't have all their names in front of us, but the big one is Luke Getsy is gone, which we are all happy about. We definitely think that Scott Turner or anybody else on the staff can call some better calls than he was and mix them up. I mean, from what we just continue to see the same stuff over and over, it's like that was the only thing we knew. So it was terrible. So I'm glad to see Scott Turner taking over. I don't think it's a savior in my opinion, but I do think it'll help.
It can't get any worse, right? Yeah, exactly. It can't get any worse, right, guys? Exactly. I mean, it really can't. So we'll see.
And then his dad, Norv Turner, is going to be like an assistant advisor to the offensive coach to help him a little bit, which is cool. He is ex-Raider alumni, so he does know our traditions and things like that. I'm going to come in, and then Joe Philman, I believe, came in to take over the quarterback coach or the offensive line coach.
Wasn't it the line?
Yeah, I think it's the line coach. So those are all good things. Like I said, not a big savior, like I said, but that is some true like West Coast vibes that we're going to be getting. More passing, in my opinion. So I don't know how our coach is going to want to bring in the run with that. And like I said, maybe it's just a reality check that we just don't have the people to get the run that we need to. So we have to be a little bit more heavy team, yes. So it's kind of where we're at. So I think that's where, and we've seen that in games, especially in that first quarter of this Bengals game, where we went pass heavy and we went down the field and we did score. So if we continue to do that, can have any luck with our offensive line, just staying in the game healthy. The bye did help that maybe we'll get some of those bodies back, and I think that's kind of where we're at with that. So I'm going to look at the injury report real quick. I'm going to let Jimmy see what his thoughts are on Norv Turner, Scott Turner, and the coaching change.
Yeah, like I said, we all were hoping for Getsy to be gone. He's gone. I don't, like I said, I think anything will be an upgrade. Hopefully, obviously they're going to dive into what happened in this first half of the season. Obviously look at the very few plays that we did actually run. So I think it'll be a good thing. Like you said, Norv's been on the team. He's Raider alumni. So like you said, he knows how, the Raiders want to play, who we want to be, and, all of our traditions and things that we like to be known for as Raiders. So I see it as a good thing. Again, I'm going to piggyback off you. I don't think it's going to turn the season around. It'd be great. I know, it'd be great. We want some wins. I'm very far off on my predictions from the first half, but I was double fisting the Kool-Aid. I thought our offense was going to be a whole lot better, even with our manageable quarterbacks, either who that was going to be. But didn't play out that way. Some injuries. And then ultimately, I think a lot of just bad play calling, running up the middle. So,
nice. Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. So the next thing we want to go to is a little bit of Raiders rumor. But now that I've seen it, I have seen that tight end Michael Mayer has returned to practice. So that is good. It is official. It is on the website right now, 11/12. So it's good to get what we like to call Rudy back on the team from Notre Dame. And it's going to be very, very helpful for the offense to have 2 tight ends. And Bryant, Bryant can come back too.
Yeah, he's done phenomenal. He's done really well.
They've done really good. Have a little bit more depth with that tight end. Have some people that we can. They're gonna have to cover both of them. They're gonna have to cover. Now we're talking about receivers. We're talking about tight ends, but they're gonna have to cover both Mayer and Brock Bowers because they're both weapons, and so just helps us on the offense. And I've heard a lot of times that a tight end is a quarterback's best friend sometimes.
Yeah,
along with the running back. So.
Good check.
So hopefully they can have a lot of checkdowns and a lot of things going for that. So also, I just want to say in the Bengals game too, we did have a kind of a defensive struggle. Like Crosby and all the main guys, Mo Riga, Jack Jones had a great day, but it was more like individual efforts. It didn't seem like a team,
cohesiveness.
Yeah, cohesiveness that kind of led us to the mega points that the Bengals scored towards the end of that game. And the 24 minutes of possession on the offense didn't help either, but I know the defense is tired. Hopefully the bye has rejuvenated them and we can get them back on the field like they were at the beginning of the year. I also know that the defensive coach, Graham, had never played the Bengals before. He had never put up a game plan for him, so it was his first time too, and so maybe that had some issues going into it as well, but I would more go with the defense is gassed and those types of things like we normally see during a game. But so no excuses, but those are just a couple things that I saw and thought I would bring up. And then finally, let's get to the preview for what do we have next going on for
Miami Dolphins. So it's unpredictable. Obviously, with the new offensive coordinator, what can we do? What's going to happen? Obviously, we all know Tua is back. He played, the last 2 weeks. He had a decent game last night against the Rams there, which they pulled it out. It's going to be tough. They have lots of weapons. Obviously their running game is very strong. Got 2 backs, Mostert, stud, and wide receivers are stacked. They got Tyreek Hill, Odell Beckham. I know he's not as great as he used to be, but he can still get out there and get the job done. And then Waddle. Talk about defense. Obviously, one of their bigger guys, Jalen Ramsey, cornerback. So I think they'll probably put him on Jacoby Myers. Their current defensive back is Jordan Brooks, which is a big guy. He leads their team in tackles. So they may be on a turnaround coming back with Tua after his injuries. Obviously, they struggled with him being out. They had no offense. So I was kind of hoping, Tua would still be out and, no offense against our... Well, let's face it, we really don't have an offense either. Maybe we can put something together and pull out a win. But it'll be interesting. Like I said, and give you the keys, obviously. Keys to winning, we want to sustain drives. Keep the defense off of the field. Keep our offense on the field and get chunks down the yard, down the field. So we'll kind of have to see. Like I said, there's a lot of unknowns. I don't, like you said, more West Coast. So we're going to be slinging the ball. So technically, we could be scoring faster, if we're not running a whole lot, especially up the middle for, 2 yards.
All right. So I did happen to find the injury report, and this is ridiculous. So all the players dealing with injuries, there's a big list here.
Yeah, I don't want to look at it.
We got Brock Bowers, rib. We have Harrison Bryant, elbow. Max Crosby, ankle. Andre James, ankle. Jack Jones, knee. Jacoby Myers, ankle. Colton Miller, elbow. Trevor Moehrig, hamstring. Dylan Parham, foot. Robert Spillane, knee. And then Zamir White with a quadriceps. So the only one they're definitely saying is out right now is Andre James, which is the center. So the rest of them are kind of questionable, but that's a lot of our line. Colton Miller, Dylan Parham. So hopefully we can get the other ones back too, because like I said, I know that they had played all the replacements that we had. Because like I said, just our line, Colton Miller, JPJ, Andre James, Dylan Parham, and Mumford. And then we have Glaze, Meredith, and Cody Whitehair. We also have Pete, but I know Pete, Whitehair, Meredith, and Glaze were all playing in that last game. So I guess there's 4, so we have 4, but they were all playing, and that's second string, so it's not the best line that we could have out there. And we saw, I think, was it Glaze, or who was it, get ran over like twice, big time, pancaked. So we'll see what's going to happen. I'm not too excited about the line right now. So I think that's the biggest thing for me is the offensive line. If they can hang on and just give our quarterback enough time to manage some plays, I think we can have a good game against the Miami Dolphins. I think is my keys for the game, the offensive line, and we can pull something off. I think both teams are kind of dealing with some stuff. They both have not great records.
Like I said, Miami, once Tua went out, they kind of couldn't do anything on offense, barely score, like us. But
yeah,
it'll be interesting. Like I said, I don't know who you think is going to start. You think they're going to keep Minshew?
Oh yeah,
or are you going to go
with
Ritter again?
Yeah, no, I don't know. I would like them to go with Minshew just because he's been in there, but maybe they'll go crazy and say no, we're going to go with kind of like they did last year, where they went with the second quarterback right away.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything about AOC coming back yet from his injury, so we are what we are right now, quarterback wise. It's either Minshew or Ritter, and I think they should go with Minshew just because I think he has a little bit more rapport with the team. But that maybe they should have a team meeting about that. Who do they want to go with? Kind of like they did last year. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be interesting. Like I said, there's lots of things, pluses and minuses. Again, neither of the two, Minshew or Ritter, is going to be, the savior or next franchise quarterback. But, with the new offensive coordinator and our offensive line being so banged up, maybe we'll do some, more, not draws, but rollouts, move the, quarterback out of the pocket, some bootlegs and stuff like that, which I think would be better for Ritter. I think he's more mobile. Yeah. But, again, I don't know. That's just me talking because clearly they haven't said anything yet, and we'll have to wait and see.
And I did see, I was watching some other content from other creators out there, and a lot of them just said, did anybody ever just go back and watch what Minshew did with the Colts? And we talked about it in another video too, but hopefully, Scott Turner and Norv do a little tape and see he can be a good quarterback. He's had a bad, terrible year, and yes, I know, and I'm not saying he's anything great, but he can manage games is all I'm trying to say. And so if they could just review some of that, let him do what he did, let him do some of the plays that he did at the beginning of the Bengals game. He drove right down the field passing. He had some wacky plays that looked like they were off script a little bit. I did see an audible in that game, so maybe they gave him some freedom a little bit. But if he can just do some of that, no matter what quarterback, and I think Ritter, he's the same guy. He could do the same things, so they could kind of script the same plays for both of those guys. I think he has maybe a little bit stronger arm. He's a little bit younger, those types of things, and he is fast, so they could definitely script some plays for him to run as well. So there is some options for some offense out there. Jacoby Myers, the tight ends, our running backs are still decent, so we are good to go, and we could beat Miami, but we need a full game from the defense on offense in this game. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like I said, we haven't really seen it at all this year, a whole complete package.
Yeah, it's very slim. So I think that's all we got. We can pull it off, guys. I don't believe in tanking. I just think that I don't even think we need to tank. I think
we're not that good.
Yeah, I think that if we just did what we do, there's a chance we're not going to win a bunch of games at the end. And so even if we won 2 more games, I still think we're going to probably get a really good draft pick coming up. So no need, in my opinion, to talk about that. But in our next video, we will be talking about the midseason, what is going on, our picks that we picked before, and then what to expect now in the future, and talk about a little bit about, tanking, what's going to be going on in the future, and those types of things. So stay tuned for that video coming up really soon this week as well. So
yeah, like, subscribe, share. Let us know in the comments. You agree with something we said? You disagree completely? We're morons and we don't know what we're talking about? I don't know. Let us know. Let's talk.
Yep, just talk. Like, subscribe, and share, please. And let's continue to grow this channel. So thank you so much, and we'll see you really soon on our next video. And as always,
go Raiders.